So, ever feel like you're just staring down this massive list of decisions?
Oh, definitely.
Big ones, small ones. Even just like what to eat for lunch, right?
Right.
To be genuinely overwhelming sometimes.
Absolutely.
And if you're listening, maybe you want to, get smarter about choices without reading 100 books. You want those quick insights.
Exactly. That's what this deep dive is aiming for, a shortcut to making, well, sharper choices, finding those aha moments.
Okay, so today we're digging into decision-making secrets unveiled.
Yeah, it's a pretty comprehensive guide. Goes into how the mind works, common traps, different ways to approach things.
And our mission then, for this specific conversation,
Yeah.
it's about grabbing those first really crucial pieces.
That's it. The essentials you can use like right now to start seeing a difference. We want to unpack the foundations.
Got it. So understanding how we think when we decide. That's the starting point.
Precisely. The basic architecture of choice, you could say.
Which, I guess, brings us straight to this idea of having, well, almost two different ways of thinking, System 1 and System 2.
That's the core concept from Kahneman, yeah.
Right.
It's fundamental. System 1 is your quick, intuitive, almost automatic thinking. It's emotional sometimes.
Like sensing someone's annoyed just from their tone.
Exactly. Or, knowing the answer to 2 plus 2 instantly. That's System 1, fast, effortless.
Okay, the autopilot system. And System 2.
System 2 is, well, it's the opposite. Slow, deliberate, effortful. It's your conscious reasoning kicking in.
Like when you're parking a car in a tight spot or trying to figure out a really complex math problem.
Perfect examples. That's System 2 doing the heavy lifting. It feels like you're the one in control there.
Right. It feels like System 2 is driving, but the source calls System 1 the hero, which seems a bit counterintuitive.
It does, doesn't it? But the idea is that System 1 is constantly working in the background. It's generating all these initial feelings, impressions, gut reactions.
So it's feeding System 2 the raw material to work with.
Pretty much. So getting better at decisions isn't just about boosting your analytical System 2. It's also about sort of educating your System 1.
Educating it. How?
Through experience, through clarifying your values, basically feeding it better information over time so its automatic responses become more reliable, more insightful.
Okay, so your experiences shape those gut reactions.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Now, what about pressure? The source says System 1 dominates then.
Yeah, and that's critical. When things get stressful, our brains naturally shift to those faster System 1 responses. Survival instinct, partly.
Which could be good sometimes, right?
Yeah.
Like in an emergency.
Absolutely. But the downside is our more rational System 2 can get, well, pushed aside. They call it cognitive tunneling sometimes, meaning your focus narrows right down, you miss the bigger picture, and you're way more likely to fall for biases because you're just reacting.
Okay, so under stress, we react first, think later, maybe too late. Is there a way to manage that, to consciously switch gears?
There is. The source mentions this red to blue mindset. Think of red as that hot, reactive System 1 state.
Got it. Seeing red.
Exactly. And blue is the cooler, more reflective System 2 state. The idea is it's a skill you can actually practice pausing just for a beat when you feel that red mist descending.
Taking a breath.
Yeah. And deliberately engaging that blue analytical thinking before you jump. It's about creating a little space. And doing that regularly, that helps build that deeper second-order thinking too, looking beyond the immediate.
Right, so recognizing the red and consciously shifting to blue, especially when it really counts. That leads us to intuition, doesn't it? That gut feeling. Is that just System 1 again?
It's related, definitely, but the source suggests it's often more than just a random feeling. It's your brain doing super fast pattern recognition based on everything you've ever experienced.
So not magic, but like subconscious processing. Your brain connects dots you didn't even know were there.
That's a great way to put it. And it can be really valuable, especially when you don't have all the facts or you're short on time. That sudden aha or that nagging feeling something's off, that could be your intuition picking up on subtle cues.
But let's be honest. Gut feelings aren't always right, are they? Sometimes they lead us totally astray.
Oh, absolutely. Intuition is fallible. It can be influenced by those same biases we talked about.
How do you know when to listen to it?
The key seems to be balance. Use your intuition as like an important piece of data, but don't treat it as gospel. Validate it. Check it against the facts if you can.
A trust but verify for your own instincts.
Kind of, yeah. And interestingly, the more experience you have in a certain area, the more reliable your intuition in that area tends to become. Like a chess grandmaster's intuitive move, it's built on thousands of hours of recognizing patterns.
Okay, so trained intuition is more trustworthy. Makes sense. The source also mentions this three brains idea: head, heart, gut.
Right. It's a way of thinking about integrating logic, head, your emotions and values, heart, and that intuition, gut. True wisdom in decision-making often comes from listening to all three, not just cold, hard logic. Emotional intelligence plays a big role.
I like that. It's more holistic. Okay, let's talk about something that feels really bedrock. Values. Aligning decisions with core values and these things called non-negotiables. Why is that so central?
Because knowing your core values, like what really matters to you, is it family, honesty, growth, security? Knowing that gives you an internal compass.
A compass, yeah, I get that. It helps you figure out which way to go.
Exactly. When you're clear on those values, it acts like a filter. Does this option align with my value of, say, integrity? If not, maybe it's not the right path, even if it looks tempting otherwise. It actually makes deciding less tiring.
Because you're not agonizing over things that fundamentally don't fit who you are. Cuts down the options.
Precisely. Cognitive efficiency through self-awareness. And then non-negotiables are even more specific. They're the lines you absolutely will not cross.
For me, maybe a non-negotiable is never taking a job that involves animal testing no matter what.
Perfect. It could be based on your beliefs, past experiences, ethical boundaries. They provide a really clear framework, especially for tough choices. They help you maintain your integrity.
And the source says communicating these is important too, like in teams or families.
Definitely. Being clear about your non-negotiables up front builds trust and prevents a lot of conflict down the line. Everyone knows where the boundaries are.
Okay, this is giving us a great picture of the internal landscape. But we know there are things that trip us up, right? The saboteurs.
Yes, the cognitive biases, those mental shortcuts that often lead us astray without us even realizing it.
And one big one, especially when we think we've got something figured out, is confirmation bias. Can we just quickly touch on that one?
Sure. Confirmation bias is basically, well, we love being right, don't we? So we tend to actively look for information that confirms what we already believe, and we conveniently ignore or downplay anything that challenges it.
So we build our own little echo chamber. How does that actually hurt our decisions?
Well, you can stick with a really flawed idea or plan just because you haven't genuinely looked for the holes in it. You miss crucial counterarguments or warning signs.
Yikes. Okay, so how do we fight that? What's a quick strategy?
The main thing is to deliberately seek out opposing views. Like actively ask, what information might prove me wrong here? Or talk to people you know will disagree with you.
Play devil's advocate with yourself, essentially.
Exactly. Engage that System 2 thinking to challenge your System 1 assumptions. It takes effort, but it's crucial.
Okay, that's super practical. We also need to talk about emotions getting in the way. Making choices when you're angry or anxious.
Right. Strong emotions can absolutely cloud judgment. The source stresses that the goal isn't to suppress emotion, but to manage its distorting influence.
So what's a simple way to do that, like in the heat of the moment?
One key thing is just creating space, even a tiny pause. Don't react instantly when you're feeling overwhelmed or emotional. Take a few deep breaths. That classic mindfulness technique helps bring you back to the present.
Just stop the runaway train for a second.
Yeah. And another useful trick is asking yourself, how will I feel about this decision in, say, 6 months? It forces a bit of perspective beyond the immediate emotional reaction.
I like that. The 6-month test. Okay, one more saboteur to quickly hit on: regret. That fear of, what if I make the wrong choice? It can be paralyzing.
Oh, totally. Anticipated regret is powerful. The source mentions Jeff Bezos's regret minimization framework, which I think is really interesting.
How does that work?
Basically, you project yourself forward to, say, age 80, and you look back and ask, which regrets will bother me more? The regrets of things I did that failed, or the regrets of things I didn't do?
The inaction versus action regret.
Exactly. For him, the regret of not trying the internet thing would have been far greater than the regret of trying and failing. It shifts the focus from short-term risk to long-term life satisfaction.
That's a powerful reframe. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground on these foundational elements. If someone listening wants just one thing to focus on starting today from all this, what would it be?
I think the biggest immediate impact comes from just starting to notice your own thinking. Pay attention. Ask yourself, was that decision mostly fast, intuitive System 1, or was it slower, more deliberate System 2?
just building that awareness.
Yeah. And maybe pick one recent decision. Ask yourself honestly, which system drove it? And looking ahead, what's one tiny shift you can make in your next decision to bring in a little more of that conscious system 2 thought?
And perhaps linking it back.
Linking it back, like how might aligning that next choice, even a small one, with one of your core values actually change how it feels or what the outcome is? It's about making those small, deliberate shifts.